Hey guys, welcome back on my channel. Today we're going to do a nighttime skincare routine, and I feel that it's quite important to change but with the seasons. Now it's been winter officially since December 21st, right? And I think I have changed my routine a little bit before that. So I thought I would walk you through what I typically do. I'm just back. I was at a ballet, and that's why I'm wearing my ballet nights. So typically what I do, I'm just taking off my earrings. These are by Henriksen, and I have them actually in a pouch, such that whenever I have any event, I just pop these on, whether I'm wearing a simple shirt or a t-shirt or whatever. It just looks like I'm ready for a nighttime event, just because I feel that with my short hair, having my little post earrings just doesn't cut it for a nighttime. So I just feel like having something dangling like that just works with this hair length. So as always, I have my beauty cabinet, and this is my daily, let's say, station, and I typically have everything that I could need here, except for a couple items that I would usually keep outside because they don't fit on the box or because I'm trying to finish them. So first things first, I will start by washing my hands. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to just film everything one after the other, but typically what I do is that my nighttime routine takes much longer than this, just because I would start by applying something and then go make some tea. Matter of fact, I may just do that, but typically keep in mind that I leave some time between the layers. So this is really a nighttime routine. I don't lock myself in my bathroom and do this one after the other, but I'm around the house. I first start with this Mamonde Petal Spa Cleansing Oil. It's rose scented, not my favorite, but you could definitely see that I have been using it for a while now. And because it's not my favorite, I use it as a first cleanse. So I just go all over my face and I will just massage it. So to melt off all the makeup that I have essentially. It is safe to use also on eye makeup. I'm not really wearing a ton of eye makeup anyway. I'm not even wearing mascara, so I don't worry much about that. I had a bit of eyeshadow and eyeliner and that was it. Once I have massaged this in my skin, I will just add a little bit of water to emulsify it. You can see that it turns a little bit milky, but not as milky as the next oil that I'm gonna use. Once I have rinsed my face, I will just go with a dry flannel and just pat it dry. So that was the first cleanse that is meant to remove all the grime, the first layer of makeup. And now my skin is ready for a proper cleanse where I'm actually trying to remove now its own extra oil and anything that is slightly deeper set in the skin. And for this I go with the Hadalabo cleansing oil. This is a Japanese oil, whereas the first one was Korean. This one goes completely clear. I've only started using it for a couple of weeks, but I really like it. I just go all over my face, and you will see how this one actually properly emulsifies, because once I add water, it will turn completely white. Same thing, just go all over. Don't forget the side of the ears, around the eyes. It does not have any nice smell actually. It just smells like oil. It doesn't even have fragrance, which is fine by my standards. I'd rather it not having fragrance than having something sweet that I don't like. Now I will add a little bit of water just for you to see how it emulsifies. So I just wet my hands and you can see how it turns into a white lather. You can see. So now I'm gonna properly wash it and then I'll come back to you guys. I now just pat my skin with a little tissue to remove any excess water that I might have. And now my skin feels very soft and clean. The thing with oil cleansing is that my skin never feels stripped. And even my nose actually feels quite soft. So yeah, I like that. I really like this routine. Then I'm gonna go with a cotton pad. I'm just trying to finish some cotton pads that I had from hotels, right? But I do have other cotton pads. And then I'm gonna go with this Glycolic acid. It's a 7% glycolic acid toned solution. It's by The Ordinary. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of it and go all over my face. Now, I use acid every single day, but my skin can take it. If you are just getting started with acids, or if you have sensitive skin, don't even try. But if you're just getting started with acids, I would say once, twice a week until you are really sure that you're not harming your skin. I just happen to have like all kinds of skin problems, but sensitivity is not one of them. So just apply that all over my face. And actually I have very good news for people in London, at least I guess, but Deciem is opening a store right on Sloane Square. So it's 5 minutes from where I live. And so I have been waiting for them to open because it's been months that they have all these like work in progress things. I think it's gonna be for next month or in the next 2 months. I'm pretty excited about it actually, because then I no longer have to go on the website. Plus, I don't have to deal with all the out of stocks because I can just walk to the store and see what they have. Then I'm going with this eye cream. It's a hyaluronic acid moisture ice cream, and it's by a brand called It's Skin. It's Korean, and it just comes as a very clear gel, and it's very, very wet actually. I'm just gonna apply it to all this area and then all around under the eyebrow. So it's not just the moving eyelids, it's essentially everything around that area. And then I lightly pat it. Then I'm gonna go with The Ordinary's Niacinamide 10% plus zinc 1%. This is a mineral anti-blemish formula. It's because as I had been traveling for weeks, actually 3 months, and I was just having minimal skincare. To be honest, there were some days where I barely washed my face. I essentially just removed makeup and went to sleep because I was just dead at 1 or 2 a.m. I really mistreated my skin and it just became congested. So this is why I have switched to this routine, because I feel like it serves my skin needs better. So I just went back to the very thorough nighttime routine that I used to have, and I have been using it for the past few days now that I am in London, which is quite good. It's pretty beneficial for my skin. I feel like my skin is back to breathing again. Might seem like tons of steps, but it actually works. Some people have very easygoing skin. My skin is really a diva. It's very high maintenance. I normally shower after the second cleanse before applying the acid, but for the purpose of the video, I'm just going to go make myself a cup of tea, get changed, and come back to just apply my moisturizer and tell you 2 or 3 things about how I care for my skin, showing you some products that I have and that I want to finish, etc, etc. All right, I'm back and I'm wearing Captain Magic. So this is like a Japanese anime that I used to watch when I was a kid. So in Morocco it was called Captain Magic because the people who did the translation for it, like the dubbing, were Arabs. Maybe from Jordan, if I'm not mistaken. Back in the day, a lot of things were dubbed in Jordan, and they would use Arab names for everything. So while the Japanese name is Captain Tsubasa, I always thought it was Captain Majid, and I think the French also have Olivier Tom, and there are a lot of other names. Spain have another name for it, etc, etc. But anyway, I always loved it. So my night cream is this high moisturizing cream by MUJI. So MUJI does very simple skincare, but I'm not sure if it's just that I have never noticed before or whatever, but I just feel like their prices have gone up. I'm not really sure if it's just that I've never noticed before, but a couple times I went to MUJI and I wanted to buy things with the assumption that they're really affordable, and then I was just a bit taken aback by how expensive they were. So I thought that their skincare would be affordable, but then I realized that it was something like 14, 15, sometimes up to 18 pounds for their skincare, which it is simple, This is a minimalist's dream to have something in this packaging, but honestly that is still quite expensive, so it lasts a long time, but I wouldn't call it cheap. That's my point. I guess that's what I wanted to say. I wouldn't call it cheap. If you want something cheap, you want to go for the ordinary because it is quite affordable. Alright, but this cream is very rich, and when I use it, I definitely feel like there is a layer of almost grease that sits on top of my skin. So it definitely feels very moisturizing and very, very rich, but nourishing also. So I like it. I like that cocooning effect because I just feel like my skin has been through cold weather, and then every time that I get on a bus or I go indoors, I have AC because of the air conditioning, so it's just blasting. Sometimes when my skin is extremely dry, I would add a few drops of this oil. This is a prickly pear seed oil. It's by Kenzie, and it's made in Morocco, and I just add a couple drops all over my face. But there are a couple other skincare bits that I wanted to show you that I really like. One thing is this Pore-balance facial sauna scrub by Henriksen. Absolutely love it. Now, because I haven't filmed a favorites video in a long time, I wanted to feature it. It has volcanic sand, green fusion complex, neem seed oil, and AHAs. So definitely you can feel the burn, you can feel the acids if you use it the first time or if you have sensitive skin, but your skin gets used to it. I haven't used it in a couple weeks, but every time that I use it, I'm just amazed by it. Now this is, how much is it? It's 28 grams, so 1 fluid ounce. But I have used it at least 10 times and it's still not done yet. So I really like it, and it's one of those products that I think I might buy the full size of it. It reminds me greatly of Kate Somerville Exfoliate. That's how good it is, as in you see the result from the first time. I have not used any of my toners in a long time, so I think I might need to go back to that. I have quite a few from Korean brands, and I also have some masks that I want to try. And I have two things. I have this Flavanone Mud and I have the voicemail mask. Both of them are from the NIOD brand. The voicemail mask is pretty liquid. I don't necessarily like it, but you're meant to just apply it all over your face, just a tiny bit, go to sleep, and then you wake up the next day with amazing skin, and you can use it twice a week. Now, because I was traveling a lot, I just didn't have time to use it. So what I want to do for the next months is to actually try to use it a lot more, because this thing was expensive. NIOD is the expensive brand in the Decium group, so it's not as affordable as The Ordinary, and so it was an investment for me, and I definitely want to make sure that I get the most out of it. It's called the voicemail mask. I still haven't figured out how it works, and I'm still not sure whether it makes a difference, but I do trust their formulations. For the voicemail mask, this is again another NIOD product where I'm thinking, what were they thinking as they designed the packaging? Because it's very liquid. I don't know how on earth somebody thought that this was okay to package it like this. But anyway, I take just a little bit with this tiny spoon and I kind of balance it on my skin. So a drop here, then I go back in and a drop here. And this one I don't work with. I don't work it with a brush. I actually work it immediately with my fingers because it's a very fine texture, and you're meant to sleep with it on. So back to my glasses so I can see you, and then just like that, massage it. It smells almost like honey with herbs. So in Morocco, we do have obviously very rich fauna and flora, and as you go up in the mountains, you have a lot of these herbal mountain herbs that are very good for curing all kinds of respiratory diseases, digestive diseases, and things like that, like thyme, oregano, and things like that. And if you go up the Atlas Mountains, so you have bees that will actually eat pollen from these flowers, and so you're able to get honey that was made of eucalyptus, honey with thyme, honey with oregano, and things like that. and usually you use them to treat different ailments. I think this reminds me of one of those honey things that, honey with herbs. So yeah. So I just apply it all over. It does remain sticky on your face for quite some time, so it's gonna be 10 or 20 minutes until it stops being sticky. So it's not something that I can apply and just go immediately to sleep, because I did that once and my entire pillowcase turned orange because this thing transferred on it. So it was essentially like putting honey on your face and going to sleep. That's how sticky it feels. I'm not entirely sure that there is a time where it stops being sticky completely, but I just leave it on until I'm ready to go to sleep, and then I go sleep with it on. So they say that you have to massage it for about 20 to 40 seconds. I have done it, and you're not meant to apply any product over it, and you don't rinse it off until the AM. So it says that it's not meant to be applied on irritated skin. I can definitely feel that it's working because I have just done the previous mask before it. The previous mask did not irritate my skin, I just need to make that clear, but it definitely purified it. So I can feel a little bit of tingling in this area. As always, as I said, for some reason this area, this perimeter is the most sensitive one in my skin. I don't feel anything anywhere else, but this area is always burning by itself, so I don't really pay attention to that. So it is a suspension of plant stem cells in adaptive timed release silicones, whatever that means. This is one of those masks where, to be completely honest, I have no idea what it does. I just decided that I want to use it to finish it, so we'll see whether there is any impact on my skin. But I'm gonna do a bit more research on it because I haven't found any reviews on it, nothing useful out there. So the next thing from NIOD is actually the Flavanone Mud. I really like that though. This is like a mud mask. The packaging is not the best. The packaging is just, I mean, it could be improved. But when I used to use this, I really loved it, because I have been through a long period where I was just working these crazy hours. I kind of forgot about it, but I also want to go back to it. For this one, because I loved it so much, I think I have used 40% of it or something like that, so I wouldn't have a problem finishing it. The only thing is that these masks are non-sterile, and so you have to toss them after 6 months, which I haven't done. I really like this Flavanone Mud. I think the packaging could have been better thought, because I would probably use a lot more of this if it came in a tube that I could squeeze, but this format is just not very useful. I'm gonna need my glasses for this, sorry, because I can't see. Ah, better. If you've been following my channel for a while, then you know that my trick to using face masks is to always apply them with a small brush. I feel like you just want to cover the big, like all your skin, but the thickness of your mask beyond a certain level no longer makes a difference. So as long as I have coated all my skin, if it's a 1 millimeter or a 3 millimeter thickness, I still feel that the skin will only use whatever is in direct contact. So I feel that any extra bulk of the mask that you put is just wasted, which is why I go with the thinnest layer possible. So I apply it all over the face. If you haven't used it in a while, or if it's your first time, you might get a tingling sensation, and it's completely normal. There is one area of my face where I actually cannot put it, which is like my mustache area. For some weird reason, every time that I put it there, it just turns red and it literally burns. I feel a burning sensation around my upper lip. So I just avoid that area altogether. And now I have just applied a layer everywhere. It's not one of those masks that dries completely and you feel like it has sucked the life out of your skin. I feel that it actually applies quite well. It's not very dry and it remains relatively malleable for quite some time. So I have coated all the skin. It has a weird smell. It smells, to me, I always say that it reminds me of the smell of the pulp of olives. So if you've been to Knas or to any other city where they make olive oil, that's the smell that you would have. So I'm just gonna have this like that, leave it on for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to rinse it, and that is it. I feel like the first time that you use it, it takes some getting used to, especially to the smell. I personally love the smell, but I'm aware that it's not for everyone. I would think you can have between 20 and 40 uses out of this bottle, so it's quite good value for how much mask you actually get. So it's been 10 minutes, and you can see that it's completely dry. Unlike some classic clay masks, I feel that this one does not dry my skin. Matter of fact, when I just rinsed it, I almost feel like there is a layer of oil on my skin. So you can definitely feel that your skin is purified, but not completely stripped of moisture. So that's the first thing. I can feel that my pores are smaller. So definitely a mask that I really enjoy, and I can see the effect of it almost immediately. Also, it's very easy to rinse out, unlike typical clay masks where you feel like you have to work it through. This is very fine, very fine texture. So the moment you apply water, it just goes down with it. So that's my everyday nighttime routine for the winter months. I'm going to continue doing that in January, February, and probably try to revisit in March. I don't think I'm gonna finish anything in the next 2 or 3 months. So if ever I finish something, I have a backup actually of everything, so that shouldn't be an issue. Like, I have a backup of the niacinamide, I have a backup of the glycolic acid, and for the oils, the cleansing oils, I think they're pretty interchangeable. So this should be stable for the next 2 or 3 months. Then when we go into spring, is it spring? When we go into spring, I'm going to do an updated routine, okay? So I'll see you then.